10 times Joe Rogan lost it and went psycho live. Joe Rogan is an amazing artist who provides us with great entertainment time. Although his shows have a huge fan following, at times, Joe loses control over himself. When did Joe go off the track? Let us find out. Number 10. Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder is a Canadian-American famous host and actor. Crowder's argument with Rogan over marijuana caused him a little too much damage. They both got involved in the argument to such an extent that Crowder missed his flight. For Crowder, marijuana wasn't acceptable at any point since it got you high. However, Rogan had other views. With time, Rogan teamed up with Jamie and started to call Crowder weird names. This forced Crowder to call Rogan a bully. Number 9. Eddie Bravo. Brazilian martial arts instructor Eddie Bravo has made several appearances on the show. In one of the episodes, the discussion heated up too much when Eddie claimed the world is flat and that NASA and other agencies had an agenda behind making mankind believe so. Unfortunately, he didn't have many facts to prove his hypothesis. Meanwhile, Joe was not ready to believe anything, and so the discussion went on and on. Number 8. Neil deGrasse Tyson. Tyson is an astrophysicist who makes science easy to be comprehended by common people. Although he speaks a lot and people love to hear him, he sometimes interrupts in the middle of the conversations. This one such time also happened in front of Joe, who was clearly irritated when Tyson cut his speech. His facial expression made it pretty clear that he was annoyed to a great degree, not just once, but several times. Number 7. Milo Yiannopoulos. It was clear that the conversation of the podcast was going to be controversial when the topic chosen for debate included religion and male circumcision on the newborn. British public speaker Milo has his point of view that says behavior and acceptance are based upon Christianity. Meanwhile, Joe disagreed. The conversation continued for quite a while because none of them was ready to give up on their beliefs. Number 6. Nick DiPaolo. Famous podcast host Nick DiPaolo became infamous after his smart move on the show. The two had the discussion over politicians Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Who is the biggest liar? Rogan believed that Trump was a bigger liar, but when Nick's turn came to speak, he tried to shift the topic towards other politicians. Number 5. Adam Conover. Discussing trans is a sensitive topic of discussion. Anyhow, Rogan chose it as a topic of discussion with Conover. Adam Conover is a comedian with his famous series Adam Ruins Everything, stating him as a controversial speaker. While discussing transgender, both the men got pretty intense when Conover said that trans were pretty consistent with their gender at an early age. On the other side, Rogan believed that children didn't really have a choice. Rogan was convinced that either with therapy or surgery, the trans still suffered more than others in the society. Number 4. Jamie Kilstein. Jamie Kilstein is a comedian. Jamie and Rogan talked about another sensitive topic, rape. Jamie believed that for a victim to get over the trauma was worse than a murder. Meanwhile, Rogan believed that murder was a far greater injustice to recover from. In reality, we all know both are incomparable by any means. Number 3. Candace Owens. Candace Owens is a conservative commentator having great influence over people. However, one of her beliefs is totally alarming and would shake anybody around. Candace doesn't believe in any such thing as climate change. This was a shock for Rogan as well as the public. Rogan tried to explain to her, but she didn't agree. She spoke of America losing its capital over it. Rogan was very angry at Candace for ignoring reality. Number 2. Mark Gordon. Dr. Mark Gordon is an expert at the subject of medicine. He claimed that if anyone took a glutathione supplement after being intoxicated, within half an hour, they come back to a conscious state. He also claimed that the very next day on getting drunk, consciousness stays persistent. Rogan was in a state of disbelief and laughed over the subject. He also said he wished he had enough knowledge on the subject to prove Gordon wrong. Number 1. Jonathan. Joe Rogan has been a host at Fear Factor. During one of the episodes, a couple known as Jonathans lost the challenge and put the blame on the other couple for bothering them. The wife, Jonathan, became so tempered that she ended up punching the guy, and that's when the show began. Rogan stood up for the guy who was hurt and called the act a sexual assault. On the other side, Jonathan spoke in favor of his wife, but sooner the verbal fight transgressed into a physical one. It all began when Rogan grabbed the man by his neck. Eventually, the fight was resolved by a WWE wrestler, The Miz, present there at the moment. This all proves that Joe Rogan would rather lose his temper than lose in an argument.